Hello, today I will share with you NSF's EVM tailoring and scaling practice in managing science projects. The science projects are exploratory by nature. They are often one of a kind and pioneering in technology. That means there are limited historical data available for reference when we plan for these projects. These projects also require extremely specialized technical expertise to carry out the project activities. Big science projects often involve large science collaborations. The large number of collaborating institutions in the project team means the project needs to manage a very complex schedule and technical interfaces. Sometimes these collaborations also involve international collaborations. In such cases, the project schedule and technical interfaces will be affected and constrained by activities of collaborating institutions in other countries. NSF's science projects cover a wide range of size, complexity, technical nature across different scientific disciplines. When managing these projects, we need to tailor and scale EVMs to suit the unique characteristics of each project in order to truly benefit from EVM methodology. Therefore, NSF's management process and guidelines emphasize tailoring and scaling of EVM based on each project's unique aspects. Before I start to discuss examples of projects in NSF, let me first explain to you NSF's definition on EVM tailoring and scaling. At NSF, EVM tailoring means we address all of the 32 EIA 748 guidelines, but make adjustments in the application of guidelines to fit the project's characteristics. NSF also established guidelines for EVM scaling for smaller or less complex projects. NSF's EVM scaling focuses on the 7 basic EVM principles and implement a subset of the 32 guidelines that are essential for management and oversight. The 7 basic principles of EVMs can be summarized as follows. 1. Plan all the work. 2. Break down the work scope into finite pieces. Use work breakdown structure to organize the project and assign a responsible person or organization for each WBS element. 3. Integrate the work scope, schedule, and cost into a performance measurement baseline and control the changes to the baseline. 4. Record the actual cost and work progress. 5. Objectively assess the accomplishment against the baseline plan. 6. Analyze significant variance from the plan, forecast impacts, and prepare an estimate at completion. 7. Use the EVMS information in the management process. NSF established the scaled EVM based on the consideration that the smaller projects have limited resources. They are less complex and do not require the same level of data detail or control rigor like the large projects. This diagram here illustrates the relation between NSF scaled EVM and EVMs with full implementation of 32 guidelines. The scaled EVM reduces the administrative burden and makes EVM more accessible to a wider range of projects. It allows projects to use EVM as a beneficial tool in project planning, performance management, and risk control. At NSF, the EVM tailoring practice includes three key aspects. The first one is NSF established a process for parallel development of the project baseline and EVMS. The development process includes a series of independent project reviews. The second is NSF performs EVMS verification and acceptance for the project. We do not do EVM certification for an organization. The third, NSF conducts the EVMS surveillance concurrently with technical progress reviews. The EVMS review team can obtain input from the technical experts in the review. The baseline and EVMS development process is an iterative process with input from the external review panels. The review panels consist of the leading scientific and technical experts for each subsystem of the proposed project and EVMS experts. The panel review is a joint evaluation of the project by technical experts and EVMS experts. The panel evaluates the project's science case, technical approach, cost and schedule estimate, and the EVMS framework. The review is collaborative in nature. The panel provides constructive feedback to the project, and the review report serves as basis for NSF's guidance to the project. This diagram here illustrates the baseline and EVMS development process for major facilities projects at NSF. It includes three development phases: the conceptual design phase, the preliminary design phase, and the final design phase. At the end of each development phase, there's a stage gate review. Successfully passing the stage gate review is a prerequisite for the project to proceed to the next development stage. During the conceptual design phase, the project develops the overall scope, defines the high-level WBS, and the system functional requirements. The project also comes up with a rough estimate of schedule and cost. After successfully passing a conceptual design review, the project incorporates the review recommendations and proceeds to the preliminary design stage. During the preliminary design phase, the project developed more detailed, established detailed WBS, starts prototype work, develop more detailed design with bottom-up cost and schedule estimate for each WBS. The EVMS framework is also developed during this phase. After passing the preliminary design review, the project incorporates the review recommendations and proceeds to final design stage. and the final design review, the project should have a fully developed baseline, a complete detailed design, ready to start construction. The EVMS process will be fully established to support the project construction execution. This development process allows the EVMS to be established coherently with the project baseline development. The stage gate reviews ensure the project adhere to EVM standards while tailoring EVMS to suit the project's unique needs and aspects. The baseline development and EVMS development process for mid-scale projects has a shortened development cycle. It is scaled down from the development process for major facilities projects. The mid-scale project undergoes reviews to obtain approval of overall project scope, cost, and preliminary project plan. After the approval, the project, we have a pre-award assessment period. During this period, the project refines their baseline under NSF guidance. The process is also iterative and can go through several refinement and discussion cycles before the award is made. The final baseline and refined project execution plan will be documented in the overall execution plan. NSF recognizes that the full implementation of 32 guidelines for mid-scale project will add unnecessary burden. Therefore, NSF developed a scaled EVM practice guide to support mid-scale project to use EVM as a management tool. NSF scaled EVM practice guide include 4 process areas. 1. Defining and organizing the project. 2. Establishing project cost, schedule, and contingency. 3. Progress and performance monitoring. 4. Management, analysis, and control. NSF scaled EVM apply 18 EVMS guidelines that directly support the 4 process areas. NSF only require formal EVMS acceptance for major facilities projects and does not require formal EVMS acceptance for mid-scale projects. For mid-scale projects, NSF conducts assistance reviews to guide the project to use scaled EVM as a tool and optimize the benefits. There are several good practices in NSF project development process. The first is the management guidance involved early, starting from establishing the project's WBS. The second, the development process is also a team building process. During the development process, we guide and help the technical team master EVMS concepts. At the meantime, the reviewers also learn about the project's technical work and provide constructive recommendations to the project. As a result, the input and evaluation of the project are from people who understand the project, and the technical team learned to adopt EVM methodology for project execution. NSF's EVM as verification and acceptance for the project is another in NSF's EVMS implementation. Because we do verification and acceptance for the project instead of for the whole organization, we are able to tailor the application of EVMS guidelines for the project to fit the project's unique aspect. The EVMS verification review process for generating reliable and timely performance data. The EVMS review is also a collaborative and iterative process for a project. The review team provides guidance on EVMS based on the project team's EV maturity level. The project EVMS can evolve from not accepted to conditional acceptance and finally to full acceptance. Our technical team have highly specialized technical expertise that are very difficult to replace. Therefore, it is not constructive and not beneficial either to simply reject a project team because they do not have good EVMS. We need to guide and nurture our project team to follow the EVMS guidelines in order to ensure success in our science projects. After a project starts construction, NSF conducts EVMS surveillance. The EVMS surveillance is done concurrently with the technical progress review. During such surveillance review, the EVMS team can receive input from technical experts to give independent verification for the project's EV data. This way, NSF will have confidence in the use of EVM data for agency oversight. Next, I will show you a few examples of EVM tailoring and scaling in managing science projects at NSF. The first example is the Large Hadron Collider high luminosity upgrades for CMS and ATLAS detectors at CERN. These are large projects with international collaboration. The ATLAS collaboration consists of 3,000 scientists from 183 institutions in 38 countries. CMS collaboration consists of 4,000 scientists from 200 institutions in 40 countries. The detectors record collisions of particles traveling near the speed of light with the rate of 1 billion interactions per second. Such a rate is equivalent to 20 simultaneous telephone conversations held by every person on the Earth. The detectors enable scientists to explore the fundamental forces governing the most basic building blocks of matter. Both projects have a project office in their respective host institutions to allow centralized management for the project. Because of the large number of collaborating institutions in the project team, apply the EVMS guidelines on indirect rates. Each institution has its own indirect rate structure, and the indirect rate structure is not determined by the project. Indirect rates also differ in different institutions. At the same time, each institution may contribute to different parts in different subsystems of the project. Therefore, the indirect rates for different WBS are different. To overcome this challenge, the project have to use fully burdened resource rates in their resource-loaded schedule, and the project only monitors the indirect rates for each institution in the collaboration team. Another challenge in applying EVMS to this project is the complications in setting WBS and control accounts, because the subsystems consist of multiple subdeliverables with unique and highly specialized technical demands. Institution contributions to the project are based on their technical expertise and capabilities. That means one institution can have several parts belong to different subsystems. As a result, the relation between the work breakdown structure and the institution responsibility assignments can be very complicated. It is not a simple one-to-one correspondence. To overcome this challenge, Atlas established the WBS net, took into account both the deliverables breakdown structure and the institution assignment structure, and set the control accounts at sub-deliverable level. But CMS takes a different approach. The CMS WBS follows the subsystem and deliverable structure only. At the same time, they establish the system of institutional task tracking codes to accompany their WBS. In both cases, the projects are able to ensure proper tracking of institution contributions in control accounts. The next example is the National Extreme Ultra-Fast Science Facility project, the Nexus. The Nexus is a much smaller light source than the accelerator-based light source, such as linear coherent light source at Stanford Linear Accelerator Center. The Nexus enables scientists to study electron dynamics in molecules and solids at the attosecond scale. Here, I would like to explain what attosecond scale means. An attosecond to a second is what a second to roughly the age of the universe. The Nexus projects consist of a high-powered ultra-fast laser, 3 beamlines, and 4 end stations. It is a mid-scale project. We use scaled EVM to manage this project. The scaling approach includes we first set the WBS to level 3 only, and the control accounts are set at WBS level 2. There are total 8 level 2 control accounts. We use the summary level task in the resource loaded schedule plus milestones. There are total about 230 summary level tasks, not including the milestones. And for project reporting, we require monthly report from the project. The monthly report only contains the EVMS data like cumulative planned value, cumulative earned value, actual cost, cost performance indices, and schedule performance indices. For quarterly report, we require the report contains narratives on technical progress and emerging issues with updates of project risk in addition to the EVM data. Then annually, we will hold external panel review on the project. The variance analysis is required when there's 10% or more deviation from the baseline for each level 2 WBS. The project documentation includes project execution plan, risk register, the baseline documents, change log. Another example of mid-scale project is the design of the next generation Event Horizon Telescope. The Event Horizon Telescope enables scientists to study Einstein's theory of general relativity and black holes. It recorded the first real image of a black hole in April 2019. The next generation of Event Horizon Telescope will combine radio dishes around the world to form an Earth-sized virtual telescope. It will align signals to create real-time movies of black holes. NSF funds the design of the next generation Event Horizon Telescope. The entire work scope for this project is design effort. The scaled approach we took is to set performance control at WBS Level 2. Under each Level 2 WBS, we have summary tasks with milestones to monitor the progress. For project reporting, we require monthly phone meetings with NSF program officers, but the project is required to have written quarterly report. In the quarterly report, the project reports progress status of milestones. The status of milestones includes 3 categories: completed, in progress, as planned, or delays with cost and schedule impact estimate. The report also includes narratives on technical progress and emerging issues. The project documents their WBS baseline, risk register, and management process in the project execution plan. Through this discussion, I hope I have showed you that EVM tailoring and scaling are important when using EVMs in managing science projects. Proper tailoring and scaling of EVM are necessary for projects to truly benefit from EVM methodology. The scaled EVM provides a sound management tool with more flexibility and less administrative burden. The EVM scaling makes the EVM methodology more accessible to a wider range of projects. And EVM tailoring and scaling opened a new practice area for project management. More projects will benefit from EVM methodology with EVM tailoring and scaling practices. Thank you.